Hey, hello guys. Good afternoon. Yeah, happy Boxing Day to all of us. Welcome back to our preventive knowledge series. So today we're going to run through what prevention is, what uh, how diseases progress and how we can prevent them, and why is prevention necessary. So first of all, not going too ambiguous or into the medical line. What's prevention? Just trying to stop something from happening, just trying to inhibit something from happening. So that's basically what prevention is. And what are we trying to prevent here? Disease or illnesses. So there are actually 5 stages in which a disease progress till the end, and we have the exposure, the acquisition, advancement or progression, then complications, then it leads to death or disability. So also with prevention, it has 5 stages. We used to have 3 stages back then, but now it has 5 stages, which is the primordial, the primary, secondary, the tertiary, and the quaternary. And what this means is the primordial is avoidance of exposure. Primary is reduction of the acquisition of that diseases. Secondary is interruption of the progression of that disease. Tertiary is the avoidance of complications, and the quaternary is preventing mortality and rehabilitation, so to speak. Yeah. So why do we need prevention? Just like I stated earlier, we talked about 5 stages of disease progression, or you can say the life cycle of how a disease progresses. And we talked about exposure, we talked about acquisition, we talked about the advancement and progression of that disease, we talked about the complication, then death and disability. So first of all, exposure. You need to prevent the exposure, avoid getting exposed to certain kind of illness or diseases, and this can be done through the basics. We'll talk about eating healthy, sleeping well, resting well, um, taking enough water, routine medical checkups, exercise as well, and so on. So that is a way we can avoid exposure. Then we talk about acquisition. Let's say there is an epidemic or something. We try and curtail the epidemic as fast as possible so that the amount of people who acquire that disease are reduced. Then we talk about the advancement and progression of a disease. When you have acquired that disease, if that disease is being acquired, we try as much as possible to make sure that the disease acquired do not progress to a more aggressive stage, do not progress to a more chronic stage. So that's why we talk about prompt treatment, regular and routine checkups. So that's where this plays in, which is very, very important. So the advancement or progression of that disease, which can also be seen as the secondary stage of prevention, is very, very important. Then we go further to talk about the tertiary, which is the avoidance of complications. So if the disease has advanced or progressed without being noticed, without prompt treatment, without being taken care of, right now what we're trying to face out is arising complications. We're trying to make sure that complications don't arise as a result of that disease or the underlying condition. Then we talk about death or disability. Take for instance diabetes. When diabetes has progressed and there is a complication, for instance, you have a leg sore, you try as much as possible to control that leg sore. But if it's beyond your control, if you've tried all the medical means, some people go herbal too, you've tried and it's not working, then we advise of amputation of that limb, a finger, a toenail, whichever, to avoid a disability. At a point, yeah, you'll not be able to do some stuff because of the absence of that limb or finger or whatever, but it prevents death, it prevents total disability. Then in prevention, we try as much as possible to prevent the death through that, and we try to rehabilitate the person, trying to bring back the sense of independence, trying to bring back and improve the self-image and that. So basically, on a summarized scale, that's what prevention is all about. Avoidance of an exposure to a disease, reducing the acquisition of that disease, interruption of the progression of that disease, you avoid complications from that disease, then you prevent death, from that disease, prevent disability, and if it then occurs, you rehabilitate and all that. So basically, that's what prevention is all about. Then we move further to say, why is prevention important?